Good morning, dear students. I, Vidyasagar, your SS teacher, welcome you all in the e-learning class of Modern International Hiswa. I am going to start subject history of Standard 7, Chapter 4, the Mughal Empire, and this is fifth video lecture on the topic. Dear students, we have discussed yesterday about the Mansabdar and Jagirdars. Now, the military paymasters, and those who were paying for the militaries, they were known as Bakshi. The minister in charge of the religious and charitable patronage, they were known as Sadr, and the military commanders, they were considered as Fauzdar, and town police, they were Kotwal. Nowadays somewhere also Kotwal is used. Okay, so these terms were basically specified during that time. Now next is the Nur Jahan influence in Jahangir court. Okay, Jahangir, who was the son of the Akbar, so he married to Mehrunisa, the Emperor Jahangir, in 1611 and received the title of Nur Jahan. She was extremely loyal and supportive to the monarch. As mark of honor, Jahangir struck silver coins bearing his own titles on one side and other the inscription the struck in the name of Queen Begum Nur Jahan. It means both side of the coin name was inscribed there, wherewith the adjoining document in an order Farman of Nur Jahan. Square seal state commands of her more sublime and elevated majesty Nur Jahan Padshah Begum. The round seal states here in the left side, you will see, by the son of Shah Jahangir, she became as brilliant as the moon. May Nur Jahan Padshah be the lady of the age. As the praise it was mentioned, and the being and empress, she was known as designated. Now, term Akbar nobles, they were commanding a large army and they have collected used to large revenue, while they were also loyal to the function efficiently at the time. But at the end of the 17th century, they were just independent network of their own, and their loyalties to the empire weakened by their own self-interest. It means those peoples who were working for the Mughals, see, some of the, if any of the kingdom that is on high point, that is on peak point, it is only due to his subordinates. And if the subordinates, they are just losing it, then what will happen, that the empire, it will get to an end, and this was happens. So now, while at Fatehpur Sikri during 1570s, and dear students, this Fatehpur Sikri, okay, it was built in the term of Gujarat victory. Okay, when Akbar won the Gujarat, then he built it the Fatehpur Sikri. Okay, and he started talking about the religion ulemas. Okay, where different kind of the religious peoples, they used to sit and they form unity. This was a better ideas. As Akbar, he was a great empire, so his thoughts was also broadened, and he think that all the religious peoples, they should be live peacefully. It should mean there not should be any contrast among them. Okay, like he was interested in religion and social customs of different peoples. Okay, Akbar interaction with different peoples, different faith made him realize that religious scholar who emphasized ritual and dogma and often bigots, their teachings created division and disharmony among his subjects. It means a particular scholars who are talking about particular things, the Akbar think that it used to be spread the disharmony among the subjects. And that's why Akbar led to an idea of Sulh-e-Kul. It means universal peace. Okay, it means Akbar want that all the religions, it should be united, and as if it will be united, then we will having the Sulh-e-Kul. It means universal peace. So the idea of tolerance, okay, to did not discriminate between the people of different religion in his realms, and it focused on ethics of honesty, justice, and peace, and this was universally applicable. It means it was better. And Abul Fazl, who was his courtiers and also writer of the Akbarnama, Aine Akbari, who also helped him in framing the visions of governance around the idea of Sulh-e-Kul. Principle of governance was followed by Jahangir as well as Shah Jahan. Now, Sulh-e-Kul by the word mouth of Jahangir. As Jahangir, Akbar's son, he telling about his father policy of Sulh-e-Kul that in the wide expanse of divine compassion there is room for all classes and followers of all creeds in his imperial dominion, which on all sides limited by the sea. There was room of profession, object, religion, and for beliefs, good and bad, and the road to intolerance was closed. Sunni Shia met in one mosque, Christian Jews in one church to pray. He consistently followed the principle of universal peace. It means Sulh-e-Kul. See, since Akbar, he was the Muslim ruler, but his broad nature and his truthfulness, his justification, it was too much better. And see how he had assumed these things, like the Sulh-e-Kul universal peace. Okay, dear students, read the paragraph and keep watching. Thank you.